Everyone, in today's video I'm going to show you how to make a parametric slab that actually been applied to the previous structure that we created, the grids and the columns and the beams, and how we cover up with the slab automatically. And as you can see, that's basically I was depending on the previous work, and it's just that the grid that we have in here, and those lines that represent the beams, is basically going to be offsetted outside, and then all that outside line will create the floors, and then it's taken down and just to create slabs by floor by outlines. So how we do that, or actually how we can do that, let's just I'll just select that group and delete it, and if I can, yep, and then I'm gonna start on the same file instead of going again, so just removing that. Okay, so that's what we finished in the previous video. I just create groups here for the columns and the groups here for the beams. And what's happening, or what we really need to understand, that we need to trace the outside of those intersections. So we created an intersection of those grids, and that intersection helped us to create those points, and we needed to create lines to connect those points, and that's what we've done to create the the beams. Now we need to identify the first point and the last point of those, the begin line and the first point and the last point of the end up line. To define those 4 points will represent the borders or the edge of that slab. Probably we need then to offset that outside by using an offset command, so we can get like a cantilever, and then like making the floors going away or outside the columns instead of just having or sitting exactly on the middle of column, which is gonna be ugly as hell. So let's have a look. So we need now to depend on those points, the grids, the upper grid that we have, and probably it's gonna be in here if we trace that correctly, which I don't think so. Anyway, so this guy, yep, that's right. So deselect and then select, those are the points. And with this sets of points, so if we look at that slowly, easily, carefully, you're gonna find that the first list is the beginning of those long lists. It's a parametric list, so you might have more than 3 in between. And if you go down and hit the 4th one or the last one, you're gonna see that you have the last list. So that's our target, is the first and the last list of this nested list here created by the geometry.translate. So again, we need list dot first, and zooming in, I'm gonna leave list dot last item. So those two things, I'm gonna need to connect them to that guy. Now if I run that, I will be technically having this line here and then this line here. Let's see what we have. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So it brings for me the first line, the first column, or the first row, whatever you want to call it, and this guy 1, 2, 3, and 4. Beautiful. Now we need to define the border of that slab. So we need the first of the first list and the last of the last list, and then the first of the last list. Even me, I can spell it. The first of the last list, and then the last of the last list. Let's do that. So again, copy those, just shift, and then with control move them like this. And then for the first, I need the first and the last. Then again with control, for the last one you need the first and the last, as such. Now if we run, now we have this, Let's go from up. 1, which is this one, 2, which is this guy, 3 here, and 4 here. Beautiful. So those 4, we need to make them a polyline, or we need to make a closed geometry here. So first we need list.create, and of course it have 4 values. I'm going to connect those 4 together, and then I need a polygon again by point, and then we connect those guys together, and it's going to be incorrect, trust me. As you can see, it's crossing. You see, that's wrong, because that's the first, that's the second, third is here, so this guy should be here, and this guy should be here. Now it will be fixed. See, now that's my polyline. That's exactly on the center of the column, which we don't want the slab. We want the slab to be above. So either go ahead and have the thickness of that beam, or just define a parameter that have an offset, so we can create like a cantilever or something. Let's go, what do we need? Any kind of curve offset. So just curve.offset. So connect those guys together, probably a slider, a numerical one, and you just call it offset, or offset value. Oops. So we're gonna get it offset, and let's keep it 1 and run it again. See, so it defined for us an offsetted outline. That's what we need. Okay, now we need a Floor.ByOutline. That's what we want. It's basically made out of a curve. That's the curve. A floor type. So just write here a floor type. And oops, that's a floor type. Anyway, not this one. Pick up anything you want. Let's say this, I don't know, this one. Connect, and it's above on level 2 exactly. So I'm gonna take level 2 in here, and then I'm gonna run that guy. And as you can see, Revit and Dynamo managed to make the slab for me. As you can see in here, in elevation, you can see a better result. So that's the slab, that's the beam, and that's the column. You know, so probably if you need to get rid of this, you can join, you know, the beam with the slab and then with the column, so you don't see that, you know, in the top surface of the floor. Anyway, and back to this dude, we need to make another one again, and this time it should be on the first floor to make the lower floor. Such the same floor type I'm picking. We need geometry. We'll just translate actually. So I'm gonna take that guy, I'm gonna take it here. So probably we don't need the polygon itself, so I'm just gonna freeze it or just remove it. So that guy is here, we need to put it down back to the ground. Okay, so we need a negative value, so a multiplied by -1. Beautiful, and that a is the difference between level 1 and level 2, which already been defined here. That's the difference between the elevation of level 1 and the elevation of level 2, but in a positive value because we want it to push up. Now we need to take this multiplied by -1, so we tell Dynamo to push things down like this, and we push this in here, and then we need to connect the geometry to the outline, and we hit run. And as you can see, we have now a nice two slabs, one up, one down, as you can see. And you need probably to flex this and test it on a different cases, and trust me, you will need to delete those all before you change the number of columns and number of beams, because probably you're gonna get some crazy beams doing crazy stuff because they're trying to keep their relationship or actually being joined to the wall, to the columns beneath them. So if the column has been deleted or changed or displaced, you might get you know, crazy beams going all over the place. So delete all this and then repeat the node, and which is gonna work perfectly. It would be a great idea, guys, if you select all those and hit Ctrl and J and give them a name like Floor Maker, because it's gonna get messy each time, each step. I'm gonna try in the next video to show you how we can add an automatic walls around those and how we can add windows to them too. I wish that you find this video useful. Thank you very much and have a good day. Bye bye.